We on? We're on? All right, good evening. It's now 6 p.m. on Thursday, July 25th, 2024, and I call this meeting of the Bellevue Planning Commission to order. If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hankins,
Present.
Mr. Jacobson, Mr. Sims,
Present.
Ms. Taylor Jones,
Present.
Mr. Arney,
Present.
Mr. Ackley, Mr. Lassenberg, Mr. Bennett,
Here.
Mr. Perrin.
Here. This meeting will be conducted in accordance with the Nebraska Open Meetings Act, a copy which can be found in the back vestibule of this hearing room. At this time, I would ask all commissioners and any audience members to please silence or turn off your cell phones or any other devices you might have to disrupt the proceedings. Just take a second to check that if you would, please. All right, at this time, I would entertain a motion to revise or approve the Planning Commission meeting minutes for the June 27th, 2024 regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Vote. Oh, sorry. Motion by Bennett, second by Taylor Jones. Yep.
All voted yes, motion carried.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to accept into record all staff reports, attachments, memos, and handouts regarding each application. Staff, any updates or additions?
We have no additions.
Okay, I would need a motion and a second to approve that.
If it pleases the chair, I'd like to make a motion to accept and direct all staff reports, attachments, memos, and handouts mentioned tonight.
Second.
Motion by Haken, second by Taylor Jones. Please vote.
All voted yes, motion carried.
All right, next we have our consent agenda. Tonight we only have one item on the consent agenda, and I'm going to read this here into the record. It's item 2A, a request to annex tax lot 11C located in the southwest quarter of section 33, township 14 north, range 13 east of the 6th PM, Sarpy County, Nebraska, and the applicant is the city of Bellevue. Unless staff has any conversation, I just would need somebody, or unless somebody wants to remove it, we'll just need to take a vote to approve that.
There's no notes or anything.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to remove it from consent agenda, it can be approved with a single motion.
I move that we approve the annex of tax lot 11C located in the southwest one quarter section of 33 T in 14 in R1 3E or 13E of the as submitted.
Second.
Okay, motion by Taylor Jones, second by Sims. Please vote.
All voted yes, motion carried.
Okay, and that item will go to the city council for public hearing on September 3rd. Okay, public hearings. We have one public hearing tonight. I'm going to read through this. I don't see anybody sitting here, but we have one item for public hearing. For each item, I'll have to announce the case, ask if there's any updates from the planning department. After that, the applicant, which is the city in this case, will have the opportunity to present their request. After they've been heard, we'll open it up for public hearing. Anybody wants to testify can come to the podium. After testimony is taken, the applicant will have the opportunity for rebuttal, after which time we'll close the public hearing. And I think with that, we'll go ahead and our first public hearing is item 3A, a request to approve the 2025 through 2030 capital improvement plan. The applicant is the city of Bellevue, case number 182. Staff, any updates?
No updates. I'll just go ahead and give a brief summary of the capital improvement plan. The CIP is a community planning and fiscal management tool that is used to coordinate the timing and financing of capital improvements over a multi-year period, typically 5 to 6 years. Basically, the document contains major projects and expenditures, and we categorize those as $50,000 or more, submitted for each department of the upcoming years of the plan. The first year of the plan corresponds with the budget that will be presented to City Council next month. The outline years our finance director likes to describe as a wish list, but they are items that the department head or director has identified as those that they want to move forward. So one thing I wanted to point out that's a little bit different than our CIPs of the last few years. You'll notice this one is a little less detailed when it comes to the public works section. That was done by design. The last few years we had moved to the CIP also doubling as the 1 and 6 year street plan. We are no longer doing that. This year we kind of went back to the basics. Public Works will do a separate 1 and 6 year street plan that will be subsequently approved through City Council. So I do have an itemized list of all of those projects, but you'll see them grouped together in the CIP just to make it a little bit easier to read and a little bit easier to understand. So if there's any questions, let me know.
Okay, I do have to open this for public hearing, so I'll open this item 3A for public hearing. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak for or against or add any input? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and I will turn it over to the commission for comments, conversation, discussion.
I have 2 questions and a comment for staff, if I may. I had a citizen of Bellevue ask me about the last paragraph on the first page, the $56 million coming from outside sources. Can you maybe define for the record outside sources? The best I could give was tax-exempt bonds, tax credit bonds, state revolving funds, and direct federal credit program. Is that pretty much it for?
Well, and also a lot of that comes, you'll see it comes through like street department. When we have major road improvements like South 36th Street, the majority of that funding came from the federal government. So typically that's what those outside sources are. It's grants, it's, state or federal funding, things of that nature. So that's typically what those outside funding is.
Very good. Second question they had was for the library. As you know, I think they're going to be moving in there next few months or so.
Yes.
Why are they having $200,000 for renovations and the kiosks? Were that outside the initial budget or?
No, and actually those were in last year's CIP, so those are just carryover items essentially that didn't all get paid out that will not likely all get paid out in this fiscal year, so may carry over, but it's included in there just because there's going to potentially be some carryover from one fiscal year to the next. And
my comment, glad to see the parks are doing some of the things we did for our parks master plan, so that's kind of exciting to see.
Yes.
And that was it. Thank you.
Is there any other questions? No?
No, maybe just a comment for me. So I know that, on the news this week, there's talk about the entertainment district, right? That's kind of the big thing. So just if anybody is watching, it looks like there's, I think I kind of like 10 million between public works and economic development that they have in this next CIP for roads, planning, utilities, and some design and things like that. So
correct. Yes, the big focus this in the upcoming months will be the infrastructure and getting to the final design.
I guess I did have one question. The fire budget or not budget, CIP for the 24-25 shows replacing utility 3 and engine 4 for like $1.9 million. And then it shows it again in the 28-29, replacing the same units for the same amount of money. So I just didn't know if that was maybe a typo.
That's
'Cause-
probably a typo. They're only placing it once, and I'll double check that, and we can correct that before council. And one of the things of note is they ordered those trucks 2 years ago.
I know how old Utility 3 is. I used to work on it. So it's-
Right. And so it's one of those deals where the economy is such that they don't have to put money down when they order one of those, because if they don't take it, somebody else will snap it up in a heartbeat. So those have actually been on order. It's just there's such a backlog to get those types of vehicles. So that's why it's showing up this next fiscal year. They're hoping to actually get it.
Okay.
Anybody else? Well, you just need a motion and a second then to approve that.
I guess I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed fiscal year 2025 through 2030 capital improvement plan for the city of Bellevue.
I'll second.
Motion by Hankins, second by Sims. Please vote. Sorry, Bennett, you're correct, yes.
All voted yes, motion carried.
Okay, that item will go in front of the city council for public hearing on September 3rd, 2024. All right, any current business? It says procedural item, but you have anything, do you? Nope. All right, then next is adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All right, motion by Hankins, second by Taylor Jones. Please vote.
All voted yes, motion carried.